something interesting happening tonight. Something that nobody would ever have expected. Okay?
Francesca.
I was about to say.
Francesca and Lisa at the same time.
I'm back.
That's it. Francesca went poof, and she appeared.
I appear. Sometimes I appear.
You listened to my Christmas special, just saying. No, she didn't. But
Did
I'm just pretending that she did.
And then it was like, did I?
Did I? That's the question. Tune in next podcast to see if she did.
Yeah, well, maybe, why not? Yeah.
Why not?
So, hello everyone, I'm back. Yeah, it's nice to virtually see you, or better to say, you virtually see me.
Yeah.
But I imagine your millions are there looking at us. So
Hundreds
it's nice
of
to
millions.
say hello.
Exactly. Don't be shy, guys. Just write them as you see it. Just go on. So before we start, because we always have to thank our amazing sponsors, because without our sponsors, we would have a little bit of an issue. Like, I would be sad. Okay, I wouldn't be sad and not continue, but I would be sad we don't have a sponsor. So one of our recurring sponsors, and he is so amazing. He's a real estate broker, and he is so dedicated and passionate about what he does, whether he sells or buys. He knows his stuff, whether you need a land surveyor, whether you need a notary, whether you need measurements done, whether you need anything virtual that is done. He's your guy. He knows exactly where to go. And his name is...
Wait, let's say it. Van, you're the man.
Van Cropsel, you rock, Van. Thank you so much for being such an avid supporter and encouraging us, because without you, we would still be encouraged, but you make it definitely amplified 10 million times over. So Van Cropsel, thank you so much for your sponsorship. Always professional and courteous to his clients. At Kip Cropsel, 438-402-9471, VANC at remax-quebec.com and vancropsel.com. Thank you so much, Van.
Thanks, Van.
Thank you. It was a great introduction of the sponsor.
Yes.
Because for a great sponsor,
You gotta do it.
a great sponsor requires a great introduction.
And so thank you so much.
As our host.
As our
guest.
As a roast.
No,
What are we roasting?
as our host guest.
Yes, our host guest, our
We
guest.
have an incredible guest.
Good.
I'm excited about this one. I really
Yeah,
am excited.
yeah.
I'm excited. I like the content that's going to be discussed, because I find it important to stick to our roots, our heritage, what we, So I'm excited, because this has a lot to do with keeping the culture alive.
Yeah, and to have someone that is working not only within the community of Italian Canadians, but we'll say in Montreal, directing a focal point for art and culture. So we are very happy to introduce you to Mr. Pat Buttino, Director General
Welcome,
of the Centre Leonardo Da Vinci in St. Leonard, but also Man of the Arts. Can we say that? Arts and music, all the arts.
We try hard.
And we'll say that we see the results. So many things under your belts, many accomplishments. So I can start with one little question, one adjective that give us right away an idea of how you perceive yourself.
How do I perceive myself? That's a good question, because normally you want to know how other people perceive you in what you endeavor. But it's been quite an interesting number of years. I won't say how many, since I retired from the educational field and took on the role of cultural director, and then eventually as director general and cultural director at the center. One of the main things that I think the center has always pushed ahead, and I believe in it quite fervently is the word I'm looking for, is the fact of trying to keep Italianità here in Montreal. We're probably the last bastion of Italianità in North America. Unfortunately, from the States to the rest of Canada, Italians are Italians when there's the World Cup, when there's the races, but every other time, things have changed. The language has changed, the page has turned, where we don't have as much of the younger generation talking in Italian, the language, and supporting our Italian culture, our traditions, our values. And so one of the mainstays for me is to help keep that going and fight against it diminishing
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we want it to grow. And that's what I think the whole aspect of the center and the board that we have has really veered towards that from time to time. So we've developed, and over the years that I've been there, we've established some very good relations with Italy, with artists in Italy and people from different walks of life, but that have that belief in wanting to keep the traditions, the values, the culture outside of Italy to keep it alive. And so we've worked at it for many years now, whereby we have that relationship, we have the events that happen both here and there, and slowly we're going. And the good thing to say is that the Centro is very, very well received and very well known in Italy, you know, and appreciated for the things that we do. So we keep trying to develop that and keep it going, so that our younger generation, to try to turn them back, and it's not an easy task to do.
Nope.
No, it's true.
Because American culture has overtaken many of the cities that we talked about, you know, and so it's a challenge, but it's something we've undertaken, and I think we've made a lot of headway over the last number of years, and it's something we need to continue.
Agreed.
Yes. But where do you, in your professional opinion, where do you see that we as Italians are lacking? Now, I can give one example. When I was raised, my grandparents spoke to me in Italian, and my dad obviously spoke Italian more, but my mom spoke to us in English predominantly. And I noticed that a lot of people, when we communicate, especially the Italians, we do so in English. Is that something you would say we lack, especially the language, or do you think that there's something else that might be a contributor?
I think we certainly lack as far as the language is concerned, because more and more, but you're starting to see a trend in the last couple of years, and that is that a lot of the younger generation that are still in school and whatnot are tending to come back to speak Italian.
That's true.
Okay, among themselves, especially in their circle of friends, and which is encouraging. But on the whole, we still have a long way to go. A long way to go, both in terms of the language, even in terms of supporting some of our Italian traditions. There's errors that have been made along the way. You know, we have a lot of associations in Montreal. Actually, when I started at the center back in 2007, around 2000, a year after 2008, I wanted to discover who these associations were. We had 272 Italian associations in Montreal, just in Montreal.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay? And the sad part of it is that these associations have not kept up with the times.
Yeah.
They haven't grown with the times. So they've always done the same things among the older generation, which turned off a lot of the younger generation and moved them away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that second and third generation sort of backed off, you know, starting to flow back, go into it, because I see now, back then, I'm going to shock you with one statistics that we did back then. It's starting to revert back from what I can see now, where some of the younger generations are taking over the associations, but a lot of them have been
dying.
decimated,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
In 2009 or 2010, I can't remember which one, I hired a young Italian singer who's still around today, Sonia Benedetto, I think you know her. We hired her with the president at the time of the center was Silvio LaRose, and basically to contact each and every one of these 272 associations to ask them one question, because I had an idea in mind, and that is, how many of you have a youth group
Yeah.
in your association? And the reason for that was, before I could tell you how many there were, the reason for that is that I wanted to bring that youth to the center and basically ask them one question. What do you want us to do at the center? What do you want to see at the center? So we can develop a programming for that.
That's a smart way to go.
Sad part of it is, out of 272 associations, How many do you think had a youth group?
I'm not going to
inside?
say much. I'm going to say a
say
couple.
10.
Five.
That was close.
Five.
That's not being.
Five.
Wow.
It's not good.
So that was very disheartening.
Yeah.
Okay? We still made a youth group. We took those 5 and we basically reached out. We had that younger generation that were working. I remember some of them were working for Videotron. We brought them in. Others were working in stores and whatnot. So we brought them in. We had a group of about 25. And we asked the question, what would you like to see at the center so that you could basically support it and we'll strive to do? And that's where, this is before COVID now, we put in for 5 years, we did a singing competition. We did a band competition. And the winners of each one, the singing competition, I brought to Italy to perform in Italy.
Nice.
And the band competition, the same thing. We did that for 5 years in a row. Then, of course, COVID hit and delayed everything else. But we've restarted it again. So these groups, the bands that we brought down there were kind of a mixed bag. I mean, they were French, they were Italian, they were, and some of them had never set foot in Italy.
Oh.
And they absolutely just gobbled it all up.
Yeah.
To the point where even now, when we keep in touch and so on, they're always talking about
That
what their
experience.
experience was in Italy. And the same thing with the singers that we brought down there. So we've restarted that. These are some of the events that are going to be up and coming.
Yeah.
We have a competition, a singing competition going on right now. The bands, for some reason or other, we tried last year, and I think even Stefano helped us try to find some bands together, but it seems like the bands in Montreal have disappeared.
Yeah, it's not even that.
Everybody says no, but where are they?
Actually,
many.
to be
Yeah.
fair, no, you are right. There are many, but not not in the youth sector. And the reason being because the school boards slowly but surely started getting rid of all the music programs. And that has trickled down. Like, I know my friend runs the program at Vanier, the music program, and like this year they didn't have a bass player they're running a whole university college program, music program, and there's not enough musicians, there's not enough people applying that they were she's like,
I don't know if it's a question that there are not enough people that are practicing and developing themselves as musicians, because there are schools that still have it.
not much.
No, there's not many,
Yeah.
but there are schools that still have it. And bands have, you go back 10, 20 years, it was the thing to be in a group and be in a
100%,
band
yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
And now I think probably the technology has taken over.
That too.
You
That's
can
part of
get
it.
on to all kinds of stuff and you practice and you do.
Yeah.
So that sense of getting together and being within a group has diminished.
Yeah. There's a lot less of them, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was in high school, I mean, we knew all the bands. There was 100 of them.
Yeah.
Now, like, I was mandated to go to Lester B. Pearson and Vincent Massey because they don't have a music program to put together an after-school program, and that's to try and put a band together in the whole high school. So there's like 1,300 kids or whatever, and we have maybe one band like that we put together. Like last week, 2 or 3 kids dropped out. We had to go find the drummer. So because there was no drummer to complete this band. So
Oh boy.
right. So there's and that's what we're trying to build. Hey, if you come to this club, we can maybe make 2 or 3 bands, 4 bands, hopefully, to keep it going. Because when in my day there was 20 bands. We all knew the different. We almost competed against each other.
Yeah, but I think what Pat was saying and what you're saying, probably the difference now, there's a shift with technology and there's more individuality. So basically, at our time,
You don't need a band.
the idea of
You don't
going
need a band.
out,
That's true.
you're going out with your band. It was a way of going out with your friends. Now
Socializing,
people socialize differently.
That's true.
They
That's definitely
stay
part of
with
it.
their programs and software they play, and then they get recorded, or it's a different type of needs. So it's less social, and this is due for sure due to technology, but also a shift in the way of thinking.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
see it.
why probably
We
what,
see it online as well. Online, you see like I see ads. Montreal musicians. There's hey, looking for a bass player, looking for a.
Yeah.
Back in our day, you didn't look for a bass player. Like you had
find
when there was
3,000.
8 that wanted to join
Yeah.
your band beforehand.
Yeah.
So that's there's less, and they do it, and of course programming too. You can program the bass, you can program the drums, all on the computer. So I don't need a band. I go by myself, right?
Yeah.
That's another thing
that's
too.
it,
But
right?
I mean, it's amazing that you are definitely putting this together to try and keep the Italian culture with the younger ones.
Well,
Because,
to me, it's important from that aspect. I mean, if we take a look at the singing contest that we have going now, which will culminate with the final happening on May 4th.
okay,
To me, what's imperative is that, and this is the strange thing, because we talk about keeping Italianità here in Montreal and the language and everything else. I go to Italy. When I go to Italy, the one thing that annoys me is that these other singers that are there start to sing in English.
Oh,
But it's normal.
Yeah.
That's how it
Okay?
was even
Now,
at my time.
I understand that there are some well-known songs that everybody would like to do them and whatnot,
yeah,
but it's more than just the occasional song,
yeah,
And so you begin to wonder, here I insist that even in the contest, the contestants prepare 2 songs, one in Italian and one can be in another language.
yeah.
And when they get down there, and for example, they attend, they do concerts in Fuji, Expo Fuji, where we go in June, they have to have a repertoire that's Italian,
Sure.
a few English songs if you want, because they feel at ease doing it. So I don't want to discourage it, but the majority got to be in Italian, which is unusual.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right.
It is unusual.
100%.
And so they do that, and sometimes because we have 2 winners that'll come out of the May 4th contest. One is going to go to Fuji. Fuji, just for people that don't know, is about an hour and 15 minutes southeast of Rome. They do an exhibit there. It's called Expo Fuji.
It's a big thing, by the way.
Yeah, it's going to
I
be the
heard
4th.
about
It's
it
going
when
to be
I
the
was in
4th
Italy
year.
too. So.
There's Cuba. There's
It's a
the
network
Dominican
of.
Republic.
It's a sort of network
Everything's
of.
coming right in. So the point I was trying to make is that they're going to be performing there, and the other winner, because there's 2 winners in the different 8 categories, will be a guest singer at the Fuori Class Talent. It's in Abruzzo, and that is in September, and this will be the 3rd year that we've done that there. The first year when I was there and we brought a singer to it, Vanessa, I was on the jury.
Okay.
There were 10 of us on the jury. We went through, well, this year apparently is even more. Last year we went through 122 singers.
Oh my God.
5 nights. It's a big.
You're gonna go to sleep at 5 a.m. every night.
Yes, yes. So the winner from here that I'm going to bring there in September will be a guest singer for 3 nights or whatever there at that particular contest. And what he does with the winners, that they do stuff in Rome and in different parts of Italy. Obviously, our winner could go to these things here, but there's expenses to be fronted,
Yeah,
just
of
like
course.
everybody's got expenses. You're doing a
100%.
podcast here without a sponsor. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So it's the same thing with the singers, the singers that go down there. But these are 2 major events that occur, and so we bring them there, and singers from there are being brought here. For example, in our final on May the 4th, apart from the singing contest, we have Matteo Tagliaboschi, who won the Fuori Classe in Abruzzo, is coming here to perform. In June, we have Francesco Scagliarini coming in June, again, another winner. In May, there's the delightful young lady, Sofia Matone. She goes by her stage name is Valdis Torn.
Get rid of the Italian.
Well, she comes from England, originally from England, but
Oh, okay.
she lives in
But
Italy.
she
She
lives-
lives in
okay.
Italy, and she's amazing. I mean, I'd put her on Broadway tomorrow morning. That's
Wow.
how good she is.
Wow.
She's
Nice.
absolutely amazing. And then in August, we have another young lady that won there, Giorgia Andriozzi, who will be doing a show at the Centre, and we're also going to have her do La Settimana Italiana
Ital
cool.
Fest and
on the weekend there, you know. So, I mean, and this exchange is what fosters and excites people, both in
Absolutely.
Italy, but also here,
Yeah.
you know. So we're looking to develop. We have a lot more contestants this year than we had last year.
Which is amazing.
Which is good.
And it's still open. It's still open. So
Yeah.
whoever hears this, well, mind you, if we're airing depending when
Or-
we're
yeah,
airing,
when- yeah.
they might still make
Try
it on time.
anyways to
They might
send
still
your
make it on
candidate.
time.
Absolutely.
So that's in essence, and we've done many things, even with exporters, food exporters that have done basically food tastings at the Centre from different regions of Italy. That's happening. Actually, I have one coming in next week that wants to see about doing something like that at the Centre. But we try to as much as possible to keep those ties with Italy, with different facets in Italy, not just in the entertainment, but you know, this is where the community, and I keep saying that the community has to basically support
Chip in.
Yeah,
these events.
That's the thing. That's
You know,
the thing.
they have to support it. They have to get behind it, believe it. I mean, we're not talking, you know, hundreds of dollars to get in there. The tickets are all reasonable, and the tickets go to pay the expenses. It's not a money-making venture. We are a non-profit organization at the Centre, so it's not because we want to make money and we want to pocket it and use it for whatever we need in the Centre. So the prices are reasonable, and we're hoping year after year that the community gets behind these artists that we bring in.
Absolutely.
And also at the same time, not to forget our local artists.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know,
100%.
absolutely.
we have some amazing talent
Yeah.
Yeah.
here in town. And the proof was in January when we did the fundraiser for the La Table
Two
Ronde and
La Maison de la
Famille
Yeah.
for food banks. I mean, we had 12 artists
Yeah.
on stage, and it was disappointing. I was disappointed. I know
Yes.
Francesca was disappointed.
Yeah.
Stefano was
Because
disappointed.
it should have been sold out.
It should have been
Yeah.
sold.
Yeah.
out.
We
I
have
think so.
40 artists, 12 artists on stage from our community. Ticket prices were $40,
Yeah, I was very.
but you had 12
Yeah.
phenomenal artists.
And
on
quality. I have to say that about the Centre as well. And I know your job is, of course, keeping the ties and all that. But the Centre, everything is high quality. Like
Yes.
it's
Yes.
the
Yeah.
sound system's amazing. The technicians are amazing. The stage is beautiful. The ticket sales is seamless. When you get
Everything
there,
was
it's grandeur.
great.
It's nice. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's a great.
Yeah.
It's a great place. A great venue. $40 is like, I go to McDonald's and spend $40.
No, but
But-
any individual artist would warrant even more than that. But you had
Yes.
a collection
Absolutely.
of 12 of them
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that were on stage. You know?
Absolutely.
So it was it the timing? You know, the end of in January 26th. Is it the timing? What is it about it that our community does not get behind these?
But
behind
Pat,
all these?
in your experience, have you ever like felt or like seen something like this? Because this is a challenge. We were talking with Lisa and Stefano when you arrived here. Like this is kind of weird, right? Like you produce top level events. We all do basically. So, and we all experience like this distress by the people. So, in the past, like in your experience as a cultural promoter, have you ever experienced something similar or different? But was there another challenge? Because this is becoming a challenge.
I think it's the times that are really affecting us right now. You know, was it better before? It was slightly better. It wasn't, still isn't at the level that it should be.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, when we talk about that January 26th show, there should have been 500 people in there without question.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's the times that we're undergoing right now, it's chaos right now.
Yeah.
Chaos with the markets, chaos with nobody knows what's happening, what's going to happen tomorrow. We got Trump on one side, we got us on the other side, and everything is shifting over. Markets are going down. So obviously people become more guarded
Yeah.
when these things happen.
Yeah.
But, and here's the but, we still seek for venues to sort of involve ourselves
Yeah.
and to basically get into, to kind of forget for that, at least for that hour and a half or 2 hours, forget what the heck is going on. And this is what we have to revitalize
Yeah.
for now, you know?
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes. But certainly, it's not something I give up on.
Good.
It's not
Thank
for
God.
me to give up on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
We don't want you to give up.
And, we'll pursue it. The center will pursue it. And as long as I have a say and I'm there, we're going to continue down this path.
Yeah, no, I think definitely we need to continue down this path. I think with the talent, I think it takes time for the people to understand the quality that's there. I think, the first time, and everything's a growing process, but, if, whoever was there, they go back and say, oh my God, you guys, you have no idea. And that's the word that I'm hearing. You have no idea how good it was.
Yeah.
This guy was great. That guy was great. There's something for everyone. I think as the years go, they hear this and they say, oh, let me go this year. $40? Yeah, man. Or whatever it is, like it takes time to develop. You need to know that it's good, especially now you watch your dollar,
Yeah,
So
you have to persist. Sure.
Yeah,
All the comments for that particular show and other shows, oh, wow, it was great. It was this, it was that. And then next show comes along and you kind of get the feeling people forgot about it.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, to me, and I don't want to mention any singers, but I look at our community and I look at some of the singers we have within our community, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not referring to any of the ones that were there
Yeah, could be
on
anybody.
January
Sure.
26th. I'm talking to others that were not there,
Yeah.
that are Italian,
Yeah.
and that have broken into the French market
Yeah.
because it's the only way to
Yeah.
put things on the table,
Yeah.
100%.
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
And that to me, the only word I can say, pisses me off. Okay?
100%.
It pisses me off because, they're great talent and everybody else seems to, in the French market and whatnot, they seem to be enjoying them and flocking out to them. In our Italian community, they hold back.
Yeah.
People hold back,
Yeah.
So we lose them to, I don't blame them. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to go where the money
Where
is,
money
is,
where you can make a
Where
living.
you're recognized
So I don't
also.
blame them.
Yeah.
But I blame our community that doesn't give them the support. Not to do the French. That's not what I'm advocating. By all means, yes.
Yeah.
They're great in the French market, but they could be great in both markets.
Absolutely.
But our community doesn't go after them.
Yeah.
And that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been in weddings I've done weddings for the past hundreds of years or whatever it is. And I've seen the shift. Like my repertoire now is 5 Italian songs, 6. And it's not because I don't know them, because I can play you every single one right now because I've played them a million times. But the clientele now is like, oh, no, during dinner, play 1 or 2 and then don't go there.
Really? Huh?
Oh,
boy, oh
Italian
my
wedding?
God.
They're like,
Really?
don't go there. Yeah, and it pisses me off because I go to a Greek wedding.
And they're
Oh
all
my God,
great.
it's all
And they
night.
tell you
It's
the
a-
reverse.
They tell me the
Is that
reverse. They
reverse?
say, hey, make sure the DJ gets, or
The
whatever, the
Greek
Greek music
thing,
is at least half an hour, and any other culture. But for some reason, the Italian culture in the music industry is like, maybe 1 or 2. So if I do 50, 60 weddings a year, maybe 5 will say, yeah, play, do a good half an hour of Italian music.
Yeah.
But that's the max of it. It's like, there's
Yeah.
not, and back when I started and I was 18, I did it was 35%, 40%, 50%, if not more Italian and a bit of English here and there. Like and sometimes we would get shit for playing English.
But that's what shows you, because that was the older, what we will consider today is the older generation.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And not the younger one.
Yeah.
And if you've seen this shift there, the artists that I'm referring to don't do weddings.
Yeah.
They perform.
Yeah.
And the backing is not there from our community.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
that to me is a
Yeah.
very sad. What can I say?
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
yeah.
Reality.
It's not really a motivator. Like, you know what I mean? You want to have more of that stronghold, and unfortunately, we don't have it. So it's like you always have to sit and you have to say, okay, now what can we do to motivate?
Yeah.
Like, I had an idea, because just while you were talking, I was saying, oh, wouldn't it be great to have like the top Italian chef, let's say a show that have chefs come on.
That's
and
like an idea.
maybe,
Let's do it at the
Yeah, but
Centre.
but the thing is, you
Right.
can have it at the Centre. You have them
Yeah.
on stage,
Yeah,
and
of
then you
course.
sell tickets, and you see them cook, or they give people a little bit of what they cook, like something that can sort of say, hey, this is new. You know, I would like to try something like
Yeah.
that. You know, and you can even have Italian music in the background, all this thing. You know, we all remember Pasquale when he used to cook and he used to
Yes.
sing with the wife.
Singing,
Give them
yeah.
all un poco di vino and let them cook. You know what I mean?
Who's Pasquale?
You don't know
Oh, you
him,
don't know
yeah,
Pasquale.
because you were in
Yeah,
Italy.
You were here.
you were in
yeah.
Italy at the time.
Yeah.
He was a chef that had a show on Sunday mornings,
Ah,
a
okay.
cooking show. And
In Italian?
Doesn't
and
show
he
our
would,
age at all, though.
Well, he would cook and then he would start singing.
And you
Oh,
think-
sole mio.
Yeah,
It was
that's
nice.
funny.
It was nice.
Great.
Pasquale, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. You know, but because
That's a great idea. I like
but
it.
the thing is, it's because it's sort of like a motivator. I know that a lot of the younger generation today, they're more absorbed in their
Well, that's
stuff,
everything.
right? That's what it is.
Yeah.
So you want to attract that because
That's
I
right.
think that's the toughest to attract.
You know what I see is coming back now. The old stuff is almost starting to come back because it's cool for the
Yes,
young kids.
vinyl and things like
Like
that.
the vine, yeah, but even in the culture as well. Like I'll hear some of the younger couples say, "Oh my God, it's so cool! Can we play a tarantella?" Because they think it's cool, not
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like so far away that
Yeah.
I have no idea what a. When I tell them my hometown, we used to do the batticulo, they called it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's a specific type of tarantella that you would break your ass with someone else's ass, and they look at me like that sounds so cool. But it's not because they're immersed in the culture. It's because they have no clue, and it sounds
Something
like
different.
They
it's
want
something different.
But this
yeah.
is like the
But we
new-
should embrace that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but there's the new vision of Italianità, no? Like when you try to sell it outside the community, but
Yeah.
even to the young in the community, like everything that is something we do in Italy, which is aperitivo, it's a thing that it's not even a thing, like it's a thing, but everybody do it, you know?
Yeah.
Or, you know, other vintage things that we do, like it becomes cool. And when it's cool, it's the way to attract people because I
Yeah.
see here in the community there is just like something in between.
Yeah.
Like
It's a
you have
wedge.
the older generation that is more into Italian things, culture, Italian music and things, and then there's the new Italian generation, third, fourth generation. They're more into Anglophone and Francophone things. So, but it's like there is literally two type of public, and you need to merge them, or at least to attract the youngest generation.
Yeah.
Yes, because in that older generation that you're referring to, it's getting less and less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that they're
It's getting less and
inspiring.
less.
That's the
So
thing,
unfortunately.
eventually, where does that go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have the fallback. If we don't create that fallback,
Yeah.
it's just going to go. It's going to go like happened in New York. It happened in
Yeah,
you know, in
absorbed by-
Vancouver and so on. We've had all kinds of different people coming from Italy. Well, the president of La Camera dei Deputati, for example, was here, visited the center, and was amazed
Yeah.
when he met some of the people at the center, and not just him. I'm talking about other diplomats that visited the center, at the fact that some of the third and fourth generation, and third generation, spoke Italian.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
You know,
Exactly.
they couldn't get over it. I mean, I've had groups, I've had bands that have come over here. One group in particular that toured the States and then come over here, and they couldn't get over being in Montreal. Said, Madonna, ora mangiamo bene. Ora mangiamo bene. Mi sento come fossi, sono fuori a casa. You know.
Yeah.
And that's what I would hate to see us lose.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know what? Compared, okay, I'm going to throw it out there. I find, in relation to the Italians, the Greek community is very, very tight when it comes to
Yeah.
preserving their culture. They speak Greek to each other. Everything is traditional. And I mean, my uncle is Greek, but you see that he still has that. Sometimes he'll use the Greek language, and he talks to his kid. Okay, obviously they don't understand, but sometimes they just amplify it. They keep it alive. And I find that Italians, other than speaking with our hands that everybody's adopted, it's more more of the it's more of the language. I think the language is the barrier. I mean, I put my daughter in Italian school in the elementary years, and she spoke very well. She had the report card and whatnot. But after those elementary years, it's what happens. And I find the Greek schools, they have, and it's consistent. It's very, very consistent, and it's very regimented. And I find we're more lax with that. And I think that we conform too much into what is understood. And I think I'm part of the problem as well. I speak to my daughter in English, right? So I think it stems from us. And I think that's
Obviously, yes.
part of the reason why it's also getting lost, right?
Yep.
I mean, learning how to cook. We learned how to cook at a very young age. Now they're 20 years old, and it's like if they know how to do a cotolette, you know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? You're in God's graces. But I find that we don't put as much, maybe I'm mistaken, as much as our grandparents and our parents, well, can't say really say my parents, but our grandparents did, because they valued that. And they always have that saying.
I don't know if they valued it or that's all they knew.
No, but they have that
Right?
saying.
I mean, it's
There was
easier.
a combination of
Sunday-
both.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a combination of both back then.
Yeah, and they say on the Sundays, you know, when the family used to get together, it was always the aunts, the cousins, and they say it's faded. That has faded completely.
Yeah.
Why?
Wow.
Yeah, it
But
has.
it's
I
faded
mean,
also in Italy, because at least in the big city, like in Rome, there's no more the tradition of the Sunday with all the family. Like, you know, Sunday you go out and you do things, you go to the centro commerciale, you go al centro.
But that's a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a choice.
Well, because
Okay,
it
I
changed.
still do it. When my boys,
That's nice.
Sunday,
but in
it's
Italy
Sunday.
too it
It's there.
changed.
Sunday is
That's
no
it,
two ways
it's
about
there.
it.
Yeah.
I didn't give them a choice. I still don't give
It's
them a
pasta
choice.
day.
But the thing remains, you know, you talked, yeah, the Greek community is more focused. The Armenian, again, more focused.
True, yeah.
And the funny thing about it is that all these other Armenians, Egyptians, and Greeks, and Polish and whatnot think that the Italian community is soaked together and so functioning together and so close.
We
You
put on a
guys
good
are always- It's not true.
We are great in
We were great entertainers.
You know? But you look at, you know, the sad part of it, one of the sad realities that has happened over the years, we used to have Italian plays at the Centro.
Oh.
Sure, yeah, we used to have Italian plays. Leo Sama, was, with his Pier 21 Productions, did quite a few plays at the center. We
Nice.
also had Tony Calabreda, did some shows, but he did, well, it was a mix of Italian and English, but Leo did some Italian plays and whatnot. They weren't supported. But it reached a point where he said, you know,
Can't do it anymore.
can't do it anymore. He
because
says,
it's
"I
an
gotta do it,
expensive
I'm gonna do
production,
I'm going to do an English play. I mean, really? You know?
certo.
So where are the Italian plays right now?
Oh, you know what though, eh? That's a good question. And actually it was one of my friends who, she finds everything. And what's interesting is that she said at one of these venues that she would find, whether it be films from France, films from Italy, and the tickets would be, let's say, $2 or $5. And she would go and she would watch these movies at these venues. And that's another idea, like to have these, let's say, for example, I'm a huge fan of Johnny Stecchino. So let's say, for example, Johnny Stecchino would air one evening, and all the Italians who would be aware of, you know, Roberto Benigni would go and see him. But these are classic, I would say classic, because they're, you know, very simple ways to draw out the, I guess I would imagine.
Yeah, but the
an
problem is,
crowd.
like Pat is saying, the problem is it was there.
I know, but
and
this
we're not
is a
supporting
play.
it.
I'm talking
Well, we
about a
did,
film.
you talk about movies. I'm going back several years now, but I had a program where Sunday afternoons, okay, we would have Italian movies.
That's so
In the
nice.
Piccolo
nice.
Teatro.
It was working?
In the Piccolo Teatro. Well, now it's called the Lino and Amelia.
Yeah.
Emilia Saputo.
Amelia e Lino Saputo Theater. And we did movies of Sofia Loren, Marcello Mastroianni, different things that came up. We did it for about 3-4 years in a row.
Was working.
love that.
So
I love
it was working then.
Yes, it was working, and people would come. And why on a Sunday afternoon? Because these are movies that
Saturday.
the older.
But it's nice. You
But-
have something to
yeah,
do.
but it's Sunday afternoon, meaning, you know, always
You go to
around
the
4
movie
o'clock,
theater,
so
so
that it
it's
doesn't
perfect.
interfere with
With
the
With the
dinner.
pranzo.
Yeah.
That's
family
what it
dinner.
is.
Con il
That's what it
pranzo
is.
della domenica.
You know?
That's it.
But yeah, the thing is, and you have, and this is something that could interest the younger generation that's into those older movies and wants to see these older movies, then maybe it's something we need to relaunch again. You know, it's something I'm going to think
Yeah,
about.
sure.
You
I
know?
would go on a Sunday watching these
Yeah.
Italian. I love it.
Yeah.
When I went to Italy, oh my God, I would just sit there and I would just be, wow, I love these movies. I like older movies. So I'm like sort of that, you know,
Yeah.
nostalgic.
What would you think would be so when I mean you know when so before you stop being the director general?
Never. I told him,
Yes,
you're
of
never
course you're
allowed
not
that.
allowed to.
No, what?
But what would be success?
Told him he's never being allowed to do that.
What's your what would be something you would say? Okay, I feel like I succeeded in my job. Like, what's your not that you wouldn't succeed. I'm saying in the fact that what would make you
Biggest
happy?
achievement?
What would be the achievement that would give you the greatest joy before you stop doing
A legacy.
this?
I think-
Yeah, like what would be-
Hypothetically,
yes.
Hypothetically, you stop doing what you're doing.
I think it's if we could ever achieve a standard whereby we have our second and third and fourth generation involved and the community rallies behind the events, not just the singing events, but plays, any type of event that centers around our Italian heritage and whatnot. If I see it back on tilt, on the right level,
Yeah.
and people responding and supporting and everything else, that would be my main goal. That's why I haven't given up.
Gotcha.
That's very good.
You know?
Perseverance.
And I will remind you forever, every time I meet you on the corridor, I come to his office. It's like, don't give up.
Well, we since the pandemic, year by year, we're growing more and more into these
Yeah.
events, and like this is the first time I've actually brought 4 singers from Italy. Actually, plus there's the Napoli group that already took place, which is
Beautiful.
very well. You know, a group from Naples.
Amazing performance.
Tremendous performance. There were 22 musicians, singers, and dancers that came from Naples to do a show here. And
That's amazing, though. That's amazing.
Yeah, the maestro,
yeah.
Carlo Morelli, is also one that will, the maestro that will be there, along with the vocal that came here in Pompeii, the ruins of Pompeii, at the end of June. He's doing a concert. He's the maestro for Andrea Bocelli there.
Oh wow.
So we're talking
Yeah.
high-level production.
Yeah, it's a big production, and he's going to be there, and I'm glad to say I'm going to be there too, because the time period when I'm in Italy, so they invited me, and I'm going to be
Oh,
In September?
going to that
That's awesome.
production. January 27th or 28th or
Wow.
28th, 29th, a Saturday, Sunday. He's doing 2 shows in the ruins of Pompeii. It's
going to be-
L'Anfiteatro Romano.
It's going to be beautiful.
Oh, it is.
The
Wow.
setup
Just
is
imagine.
incredible.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's amazing.
So, you know,
We all gonna be there.
we brought quite a bit in, not just the winners of the singing contests and whatnot, but also, like I said, this Napoli group. I'm also talking with someone else right now to bring them in for next fall. We'll see how that develops. Plus, we have Eden and Lauren, which is a fundraiser for the Congresso and
And
the
the
Centre
Centro.
that we've moved to September 20th to be exact. These are
Credible,
two
talented,
totally incredible, powerful voice.
Yeah.
Eden has sung with the likes of Andrea Bocelli. He toured with, what's his name? The name is escaping me now. Toto Cotugno.
Oh, nice.
You know,
He won the voice, you know?
Eh? He also in Italy, yeah.
He won
Yeah.
the voice in
Yeah.
Italy,
Wow.
so
And they were on
Ital
stage
Fest
at Ital Fest
Last year.
this past summer, and everybody
Loved
loved them. Maria right away, the president, Maria Battaglia, the president of the Congresso.
Already.
We got to do something with them. You know, I said, yeah, let's go ahead, let's do something. I never say no. I always ready to listen. I never say no.
Yeah.
So they're going to be on in September, and I'm also talking with another artist to come in the month of November. We're going to see what.
and then you
happens.
have things that are going on in May, right? Now.
Well, yeah, we have the singing contest May 4th, and June the 5th. What's his name? Francesco Scagliarini is coming in. July 13th is Sofia, and Georgia in August.
Wow, amazing.
And again, the tickets are $40. They're not
beautiful.
You know,
So,
Come on, guys.
you should all check on the website of the Centre Leonardo Da
Yeah.
Vinci.
Yeah.
Click and buy
It's
the
gonna be
tickets.
put here.
It's gonna be
I
put
think
here.
I think we need some of the young influencers to come and show their viewers, because I think that's where the connection's
I
not
agree.
being made. It's these young, because now it's all influencers. It's all
Yeah.
if one guy could go on and say, hey, let's do this freaking TikTok dance, and millions of people are doing it. If one of these guys gets involved somehow and just says, hey, you know what's cool? These two people from Italy that are going to perform here in Montreal, in St. Leonard, you know, I think we need them to help you to gain the young
Crowd, yeah.
crowd, because you know our age is saying
the
yes.
important thing, you said to help me.
Yeah,
No, it's to help the Italian
the Italian.
community.
Yes. No, I mean to help you
know,
in your quest.
That's the focal point.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
And,
no, 100%. Yeah, It's
To
the-
us, I mean, you were involved with the January show.
Yeah.
Francesca's involved. Lisa's involved. I mean, we're involved. We push,
Yeah.
and we strive to achieve what we've all been talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the community's got to get behind us, whether it's second, third, or fourth generation, doesn't matter.
Fifth, seventh.
They got to
Sure.
get behind it. They got to believe in what we believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny, around the world, anything Italian is like, it's put on a pedestal. You
Yeah.
talk food, you
Yes,
talk talent, all of it.
In your
Food,
backyard.
talent, and everything. But
Everything.
you realize that 70, if my memory serves me correct, a while back, I read this on, 70% of the world's art is from Italy.
Yeah, I think you read correctly.
Yeah.
It's something
Okay.
like that.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, it's
So,
just in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, so I mean, it's not something we should shy away from or whatever. We need to be proud of that.
Yeah.
We need to be proud of the fact that design, Italian design, is worldwide.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
food is taking on more and more of an anywhere you go, Italian food, Italian restaurants.
Crazy.
yeah.
Now in
You know?
Montreal, every new restaurant open has an Italian name, even though the chef are not Italian,
Italian.
and they do. But it's all about Italian
Italy.
name.
It's a vibe.
100%.
It's a
It's
vibe.
really a trend. Like that's the new Italianità
Yeah.
that shifted what Stefano was saying into something. It's cool.
Yeah.
And I think like we should use that and bring it back to Italians, because if we leave it in the hands of people that are not Italian, they're going to make a perception that is different. But if the community takes this new Italianità back in their hands,
But
like with the
it has to
Centro,
be,
with
yeah.
Italfest, with other things that we are all doing,
Yeah.
then we can use it. And we are more, I don't want to say, but we're more entitled to take it because we have our
course.
heritage
Of
there.
course.
So we should do it.
We should be more demanding. We
It
should
Yeah.
be
should
stronger.
be. It should be in the hands of Italians. It should be in the hands of the Italian community, because if you let other communities,
Run you-
non-Italian communities, take it over and push it ahead for you,
Also change it.
you lose.
You lose the Italianità.
Yeah, of course.
But you change it. They're going to change it because
Yeah,
they're
of
not
course.
Italian. So they have already a mediated perception of what it's Italian.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
can it be?
What other, since I mean we are here, let's promote the
Yes.
center, the Leonardo Da Vinci Center. What other activities can you find at the? Because I know it's not only just the theater and all of that. There's other stuff. I mean,
Well, you know, we have the gym is multifaceted. Like I say, like I keep telling people, including our board, you know, we're not just one thing.
No.
We're
Yeah.
not just the theater. We're not just the gym. You know, it's like an umbrella that has all the spokes.
yeah,
You know, you've got the theater, you've got the classes, language classes or gym classes. You've got the gym itself. You've got the pool.
yeah.
You got the culinary.
The bocce.
There's soccer. I know
The
there's.
professional bocce.
The bocce.
field.
yeah.
So there's many spokes.
Is there a boxing ring in there? Did I?
Is there what?
A boxing ring?
No.
No.
Said bocce.
Next,
Well, we have one that teaches boxing, by the way.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
really?
I thought there was.
Okay, I have
something.
to check it out. I'm there almost every day, so I should probably take advantage of it.
Yeah, you're there. So
You can even rent the gym, right? I believe you can rent the gym to
the
play
third floor
soccer.
gym. Yeah, there's rentals for conferences. There's
Oh, yeah.
rentals for, we're all corporate. It's a corporate place.
There's
also.
a bar, there's a restaurant.
But
Yeah.
the restaurant, Pizzeria Galonero.
Galonero, yeah.
He's there. There's going to be some slight changes happening there in the next little while. So it's multifaceted, and again, the community needs to get behind all of these activities.
Yeah, 100%.
And there are two institutions in Montreal that the community has to look after it. They have to be involved. They have to look after it because they're the only two we have. One is the Casa,
Yeah.
and the other one is Leonardo Da
Leonardo
Vinci.
Da Vinci
Yes.
Center. Yeah.
Okay? The Casa, a few years ago, was in problem, had a big problem. Okay? Basically, the mortgage was being called in, and what people don't know, there were groups that were ready to take over the building.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay?
whoa.
I'm not going to mention who, but,
Yeah.
And so, members in our community, guys like Joe, God rest his soul, Joe Borsellino,
Yes.
and Gino Beretta, Nick Di Tempora, basically, and a few others got together and put down to hold the bank off. And then there was a massive fundraiser
Yeah.
to raise the $3 million that was needed and so
Oh,
on
wow.
and
Yes.
so forth. So to me, these are institutions that the community cannot lose,
Yeah.
So, but the question is, why do we wait till we get to that point
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, it's true.
Where if both these places, the institutions are, what's the word I'm looking for? If they participate in them,
Yeah.
we don't have to, at the end when we say, the Casa, we're going to lose the Casa, and then everybody
Then everybody
Yeah,
goes.
everybody
gets
swarms.
together. Oh, no,
Yeah.
we can't do that, so they do a fundraiser, they do this, they do that. Instead of being reactive, let's be proactive.
Proactive,
Yeah.
yeah. Just go to
100%.
go to 1 or 2 shows a year. Just start with that. It's not much. It's not a big ask, and that
I
changes
still
everything.
remember my second year that I was working at the center, I met not the 272 associations, but I had about 150, the presidents of 150. I called them to a meeting. It was the first booklet that I had put together because the reason they took me there is because they wanted a cultural program put together. And I had done, in my role when I was principal at Laurier MacDonald, we produced books, we produced films that we sold everywhere except really in town, like everything else. And I had people like Mose, Persico, the CFC,
yes.
CFCF
Yeah.
staff that came and promoted the thing. Bill Brownstein from the Gazette,
Gazette,
full
yeah.
page article and so on. And that's how I was invited because the cultural director at the time was Giancarlo Biferalli. And he asked me to come in. And I said, yeah, well, I got 3 days a week I can give you, and we develop a cultural program. So we started doing that. And in 2008, when the first one really came out, which was, believe it or not, was 12 pages.
Wow.
That's it. It was 12 pages.
Wow.
Before the pandemic hit, before the pandemic hit, we were up to 104 pages.
Wow.
These
Wow.
are all concerts, seminars, paint exhibits, artist exhibits, like we have here.
Yeah.
We had 104 pages.
Incredible.
So the second year, I met with these 150 presidents that came to the meeting, and I said, if each association here buys 2 tickets, not 30,
Yeah.
Just
2
two.
tickets. That's every event that we have here. At that time there, I think we had maybe 4 or 5 events.
Would be
Sold
full
out.
house.
Sold out.
Yeah.
We sold out,
Yeah.
That's
It doesn't take much.
No.
It just takes
No.
a little bit of effort, minor
we
effort.
have 300,000 Italians in Montreal.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
300,000.
Wow. Wow.
If 10% of that is 30,000, too many. I can't house them in the theater. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or in the building. You
Yeah.
know, but 1%,
Yeah.
and you got everything moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So it's not an insurmountable
No.
task that needs to be done.
No. If you're Italian, and you go to one event in a year, you've already done more than
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
need to. And if every Italian does that, we're good to go. Like
Yeah.
we fill
That's
it,
all
we
it
fill it
takes.
up, 5-6 times a year, whatever it is,
Yeah.
10 times a year, 100, whatever.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
That's all
But
it
I
takes.
think it's the key, as also Stefano was saying, is the way the fashion we actually promote it, and how to reach out, because
How to get through to them. How to get through to
them,
that
how to get them
culture.
interested, because we have historical papers, like one of them was Corriere Italiano, which arrived
Which we
later,
lost.
yeah, unfortunately. But we have Cittadino Canadese, Panorama Italia. We have support also by some
the outlets,
radios
sure.
and things.
No, but
I
the young
guess-
people have to.
But is that?
Hey
but
guys,
also
call your friend
we
and say,
need, we
"Let's
need
go see."
also to go out and to reach out to the other Italians that are less involved in the community. They're listening to, now I'm saying CHOM, but it could
Yeah.
be whatever other type of radio that is not just Italian. So they read any other papers that is not the classical Italian paper in Italian. So because the generation have changed, so sometimes they don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they knew, I'm pretty sure that if the news arrived to them, they would be delighted to be part of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
and-
think promotion is really a
It's a
key.
big thing.
Yeah.
It's a big thing.
Part of what I'm saying, because I know we've been talking all night and talking Italian community. We don't want to formulate a ghetto.
Yeah,
Just the
100%.
Italian community.
100%.
I mean, I like the fact that, we have other languages,
Sure.
French, Polish, German,
Amazing, yeah.
whatever, that come to shows and love Italian music,
Yeah.
and whether it's a culinary or whatever, to get involved. I mean, part of what the center is creating a bridge between the Italian community and other communities.
and other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to basically, we're open to everybody. We don't say, well, it's only, you can only join the gym if you're Italian. You can only you can only do a conference here. No, you know what
Yeah.
I mean. We're open to everybody. So, in a perfect world, you have one sustaining the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All I'm saying here tonight is that the Italian community's got to take a lead role and be more active.
Yeah.
with
I
it,
agree.
because the other one will follow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, as you said, January 26th, we had the event. A friend of mine from work, he saw my post, and so he said, he's a Polish guy. And just
Yeah.
because you mentioned Polish guy, he came to the show with his wife. He said, hey, I bought 2 tickets to the show. I said, okay, cool. And now he asked me, I see him every day, and he asks me, hey, when's the next show? What's the next event? What's happening?
Yeah.
Because he didn't know about the theater. He didn't know about, the talent that's here, all of it. He loves it. So he's like, wow, the $40, I got
Yeah.
to sit in this beautiful theater. I got 3.5 hours worth of beautiful music, and it's amazing. So the others will come. We just need to show them that it's the Italians need to show everyone else that it's cool and it's
we
a lot of fun.
We need to persist with things like that. Like Francesca and I were talking even after, and I think we mentioned it when
Yes.
we got together for lunch that day.
Which was
is
amazing.
We got to do it again. We
good.
got to do it again next year.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not one that says, "Oh well, it wasn't go that well." Let's
Yeah.
forget
It's going
it.
to
No.
keep better and better.
We got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to do it again.
So,
Yeah.
so it was for a great cause. Every artist chip in, and our idea when we talked was definitely that to be open, because we didn't only have Italian Canadian artists, but we opened the door
Yeah.
to other artists
Yeah.
outside the
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the Centre Leonardo Da Vinci also, it's like a gem of the city. It's not just a gem of
It
the
is.
community.
Yeah, it is.
It's a community center because it's based in the community in a specific arrondissement, but it's open to everyone. It's
Yeah.
an important focal point for art in Montreal. So I invite
100%.
everyone to come and check their website, because they are not just showing Italian, they're actually any type of shows,
They're
any
cultural.
type of activity. It's a cultural center besides many other things
Yeah.
that Pat was
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
So this is important, even when I write the request for fundings to the government for Ital Fest. And I always highlight the relationship that we have with the Centre Leonardo Da Vinci and Casa d'Italia,
Yeah.
because those two places, as Pat was saying, these are like gems, and they are landmarks, not only for the community, but for the city of Montreal.
Yeah. And we
Absolutely.
have to do our part first and foremost.
Yes.
We have to
Exactly.
take the reins, basically.
Yeah.
That's just, it's
Yeah.
that simple. So, my God, I'm like
I was-
so,
we
I'm so
can-
impassioned by all of this.
We can keep
Good.
talking for hours. We are surrounded by art too, so
That's
it's a
it.
kind of like,
that's it. We're surrounded by all kinds of art and Italian and language.
Ideas.
Everybody go and get Italian. Go to Italian school. Go. So I'd like to thank you so much, Pat, for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We've reached the end. Now, where can everybody, because now after this podcast, everybody's flocking to Leo Da Vinci. We know this.
Good.
Because it's already in the cards. So where can we find you? Where can we find Leo Da Vinci? Where can we find any upcoming events?
I'm always at the center, so you can always
true.
find me
You know,
there.
there's always at the
Francesca
center.
could take
Go have
attest to
lunch
that.
at Galonero and Pat's upstairs.
And basically go to the website, which is www.cldv.ca, and everything's in there.
In 3 languages, by the way.
And it's very well done. It's very
Yeah,
easy.
it's easy.
Everything is there. Upcoming shows, conferences, art exhibit. You know, we're in a room here, and I see art on the wall, and to me, I'm a passionate of art. But just to give you an example, from September all of next year, we have an artist every month.
Oh, that's
Sweet.
fantastic.
They've already been booked.
Oh, that's
Beautiful.
awesome.
Yeah, they've already
Beautiful.
been booked.
Beautiful.
You know, this is a program that I originally started back in 2009
Oh, wow.
at the center.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a revolving door. They're not just Italian artists, it's artists from all over. I've had artists coming from Mexico, France, Italy,
Oh, that's
Wow,
fantastic.
amazing.
you know, and local
Very
ones
impressive.
also. So, but it's all on
on
the
the
website. That's the simplest way for people to go and check it out. And you
Yeah.
have also the history of the center. You have everything there to really want to inform yourself and see what's coming up and what people would like to participate in.
Yeah, buy some tickets.
Yeah,
Go
that's
and
it.
buy tickets. That's what we
it.
need.
That too.
Support. Surtout if you're Italian. I said that in French because here we have French, English, and Italian, but predominantly Italiano.
Sempre.
Now,
Pat, grazie mille, veramente.
I thank you both. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for inviting me.
Thanks so much. It was very informative, and now I just want to go home and watch an Italian movie
That's great. That's
There you go.
that's the impact we
with
want
Italian
to have.
popcorn.
Oh yeah, so we should order them from Italy. But
it.
anyways,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
for tuning in, and we will catch you next time on the next Let's Talk It Out. So stay tuned and watch. Subscribe. I was going to explore it, but I didn't. So, guys, it's very important to always support and encourage, and even us, because we are in Montreal. We love this city, although we are Italian. That's just an extra
Confirmed.
plug. So, everybody, have a great evening. We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.